Good afternoon, people. 4:49 p.m., 9/17/2018. Happy Monday. I was on this video this morning, and I was getting attacked, and it's mentioned that his gets attacked. I don't know if it's going to load a time or what, but I'll show you. I finally did get my comment posted and was able to follow up on that with a couple of links to back up what I was saying, even though the article was a little old. It talked about dozens, believe it, dozens of people, caseworkers, that were caught falsifying files, doctoring documents, that kind of thing, in order to take people's kids. And as some of you may realize, this has been a long-standing issue with me, and I heavily advocate that, even though basically in our reality that problem has gone away. I still feel very deeply for these families that I know were just straight out trashed, by their local family services. Straight out trashed, for the sake of the Title V funding they receive per child, per month. And of course, when the social worker scores, I heard a bonus included with that. And yeah, I call it a score because it's a game. Alright? Those foster parents get paid big money. And if they can take a whole house full of kids, Lord God, their worries are over as far as income. Well, they are anyway, because aside from the income they get per child for being a foster parent, there's other incentives with that. They probably get gas cards or EBT, or can go and get whatever at the pantries, and Lord knows what else. I've seen non-profits online that exist just to create little gift packets and stuff for the foster kids, like backpacks for foster kids, or winter coats for foster kids. And that's after they get money to take care of them as living expenses. It's a whirlpool of cess. It's a cesspool. It's another one of those swamps. Need drink, So I was going into that a little bit this morning and tried to comment this one. It looked like she was really having a time, and they were trying to set her up with some kind of HUD housing. Well, we never got into HUD housing. We did look into it one time before we got the house on South Washington, but when we learned that the interest rate on that loan for those houses, and they're supposed to be helping people, the interest rate at that time was either 21 or 22%, and I'm thinking it was 22, but 21 or 22%. So we totally backed out. We're like, no, they are going to saddle us with this for basically what could be the rest of our life on something we probably don't even really like. Alright? they were going to put the yoke around our necks, if at all possible, for us to end up with this freaking house loan through HUD. I'm sure I don't have to explain who that is. Okay. So that's when we got the house on South Washington via the seller, who actually both were real estate agents, had their Century 21 there in downtown, and John and I had done work for them on their houses and stuff. And a building, John refinished the floor of a building by hand, one of those old historic downtown Sedalia rawhide day buildings. Had the hardwood floor, and he refinished the whole thing by hand, because she didn't want it done with the machine sander, because those are known, if you don't do it just perfectly to a T, you can leave like little waves in the floor. So yeah, he did that. And we did some signs for him too. But that's not the point. This here, this one here's, I think it was this one though. By the time it was over with, I got, what was this one? Well, that's not mine either. Okay. Yeah, really they attacked this video. And so while I was sitting here, it had just turned 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. And my pre-zone's data, because I have a data cap the rest of the day, except from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m., which for a lot of people are impossible hours anyway. But I wake up because I can't sleep, and I come out here after I grab a coffee or a juice, and I'll sit and watch videos for that time. Well, this morning it was this one, and it was nearly 2 hours worth of this page that had gone in to auto, how did I put it? Auto refresh, self-auto refresh. I didn't refresh the page. It went into that mode itself, which is just totally crazy, okay? And that's not the comment I was working on, but I could feel it as I was trying to type my comment and provide, like I said, the supportive links. Right? But here's the thing. Pardon me. Alright, I've been thinking this one for 2 days. Before we got the house on South Washington, we lived in this little duplex. It was just a regular house that they had come up with the idea to take 2 of the doors that separated the 2 different sides of the house, alright, and put bookcases in the doorways to separate so they could rent it twice. Alright? And when we got that apartment, or half the house, and it was way high for little places like that in Sedalia, on the east side of town, not the west, which is the newer, better side of town, $575 a month. Alright? A little 2-bedroom. And we actually had to share the hot water tank with the neighbor. But her name was Karen. Alright? And in talking to her, well, first, actually, they added a second front door and a second back door. So it was more like a little shotgun flat. You know, you walk straight through the house and you go out the other door. Alright, that's what they call those shotgun houses. And we were talking, and she decides that through some of our family, somehow we were kin. All right? To Jesse James. And it was on my dad's side. But, okay, I'm good with that. She started having her boyfriend over. And I forgot her last name, and I forgot his name totally. Pardon me. And they started roughing it up in the evenings. All right? During sex, she would slam against the wall, full body slam. He would push her. All right? They'd have the music up normally, but I could hear that thud against our wall. And our son was to the age, all right? And he started mimicking the sounds that they made during their little interludes. And it was freaking me out. He'd hear her carrying on over there with her moaning, etc. And he was mimicking it. All right? And I didn't want this going on. And it was embarrassing to me, all right? Because I'm a very quiet person. So I believe I mentioned it to her, but it continued. And I ended up calling the police about her because at one point she had come over one afternoon while John was at work, crying, okay? That he was, she confessed it, that he was roughing her up. And she didn't know how to deal with him and break up with him without there being trouble. Okay? So I got the police over there to talk to them. It wasn't in her presence. I didn't involve her. And I didn't even know her last name. But they were aware that there was something going on next door with a woman named Karen, okay? From that house, we moved to the next house. All right, it wasn't been a couple years. And we got a person named Karen in our house, all right? So I'm thinking, they're looking at these, maybe looking at these reports, and they see, oh, there's a Karen involved in this, at this residence, but looky here, the trouble with Karen continues to the next location, right? So maybe by that they're going, whoa, what with the Karens? We don't need any more of this Karen craziness, insanity going on, all right? Here's that comment finally. We're going to nip this in the bud. But see, if they were going to nip anything in the bud, people, why wasn't it when they knew that we were going to move across the street from a daycare? Weren't they all over it saying, no, sorry, you're going to have to find a different place. You've got this here prior offense, which my dad and I couldn't find via the clerk of court in Boone County when we went over there to Boone County where that case had been sent. Okay, back in 85. She came back from searching because she had to look in the file drawer. All their files at that point had been put online. They still may not have them all online. I don't know. Probably not. All right, not all courts can do that. That costs some money. Well, I couldn't find anything. Right? Could not find anything on him. So maybe that's why we got to move into that house across from a daycare, right? So if that's the case, how was he charged as a repeat offender at 95? To me, that's kind of heady stuff. I never paid too much attention to law work before because I never really had to. I never really was cornered to do so. But see, I'm running out of time. So thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.